Welcome to the show, folks. Happy Wednesday. And if you don't know me, my name is Mike Asherbrenner, proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community. And also affectionately known as the Redneck Connector. And welcome to the Hounds of Business Happy Hour. Super glad you made it. Most of us have kids, businesses, and it's not easy to be here. But listen, no joke. You're going to get a lot of value. You're going to meet some amazing people who built from dirt, from the ground up, and they're not done yet. So one of those ladies is here with me now, Coleen Stubbs. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Same crazy old man. I'm doing well. So thank you. And we had you on the Mike King show, right? So you were on the radio, ESPN 106.1 FM. Shout out to Mike King. This guy, he's amazing. And you killed it. You absolutely nailed it because you were all heart and brilliance and you love people. What else could you ask for?
Yeah, I love that. That was fun too. We should do it again sometime. I'll have to have another something to do it.
Yeah, I'm playing with this function over here. This is the problem. I usually have people help me for obvious reasons. And now I'm over here hitting buttons like, what's this thing do? Not the right time for it. So let's do, we got Nicole Borgie. Hey, Nicole gets the credit or blame for all of it. Folks, so this Nicole, bravo. If you don't, well, blame her. Send a hate mail. But me and Coleen had met on her amazing summit. Her summits are absolutely extraordinary. Lots of value, lots of connections, and we're proof positive, right? We connected through that, built a relationship, and now we're working together. Love it, right? All boats rise. So
I love how it just goes around like that, right?
Oh, yeah. And so before everybody else piles in, yeah, there you go. If you missed it last week, here it is. So she keeps stealing phones, my little 6-year-old, and she wants to scroll on them, and I don't like it, right, for obvious reasons. So then I got her a little bitty science kit and she went nuts, absolutely nuts. So there you go. And we put vinegar and baking soda in a bag. That was it. So Christmas list got a lot easier now. So
yeah, it's so much better than picking up a phone for sure.
Oh, major. All right. And then right before we get started, roll the intro and bring this powerhouse panel on. We will two things. I want to make sure folks know. I do these once or twice a year. I'm like Santa Claus. I do not do these much. And these folks, when I do these, are not cheap infomercials or bait and switch. Folks are going out there and they're quitting the job, right? Their corporate job, giving up the safety and security of their 401ks, et cetera. Or they're just not going back after massive layoffs. And they want to be somebody. They want to take all their stuff and help other people, right? In things that matter, homelessness, equality, whatever. And they won't. Most of them won't because they don't have the people, resources, support to get it done. They don't know this game, right? It's like Michael Jordan, right? If he went from basketball to water polo, he's a super athlete, but you have to know how the game is played. So that's what me and Phil the Connector is going to do. We're going to show them, how do we get these Olympic level collaborations? How are we, helping people everywhere in between and working with business legends? We're going to show you. So no infomercial. Be looking on my LinkedIn. I'll have it posted live and join us. Right? If it's for you, fantastic. If it's not, well, we didn't try to sell you a $50 million trinket you clearly don't need, right? So we just want people to, because when folks like us get together and we do good things, then we can go out there and make an impact. When we have time, money, and freedom, then we can go out there and help people where it matters. And that's what the Hounds is about. And so appreciate that. I think that's it. No, we got these powerhouses. These guys got told no since 2004. I thought I was good. They got told no for what, almost 2 decades, right? Now, the art of one, we had the CEO. We have Dr. Tahir of Millionaires Academy. And these guys are now accredited by Google, Amazon, and Forbes, and Microsoft. So, folks, believe me, you can do this. It won't be easy, but if you plug in, you learn the right methods, and you plug in the right people like Coleen and these folks, big things can happen for you. And the world needs you, all right? No exaggeration. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Roll the intro. What do you say?
I'm ready.
You got it. And folks in the audience, thank you for being here. We're going to ask questions. Please chime in. If you got some questions, we'll do our best to put it on the screen. I know these folks love to share their story and their knowledge with you. So let's get it done.
Are you looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high-level, heart-centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Asherbranner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
All right, Coleen. Well, this is really your thing, right? You're having a summit coming up soon, launching leadership, not lunch. See, I caught that. Launching the leadership summit, and it's coming up next week. So we want folks to know about that. And these amazing folks are taking their evening to come out here, get to know you, and really make friends and really impact people with their knowledge. And there's some powerhouses here. I'm so impressed. So why don't we just do it like country style, right? Why don't we just open the door and just put them all in, right? Like,
all right,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Come on in, folks.
Oh, look at it. It's all my friends.
There we go. Sweet. How are you? Oh, well, Coleen, if you don't mind, introduce these amazing people on the panel.
Sure, I would love to. So for those of you that don't know, we're doing the Launch into Leadership Summit. And what that is, it's a summit introducing and launching my membership to the world. And inside my membership, what I'm doing is I've partnered with 12 power partners. These are power partners that bring you strategy, excellent talent in their field, lots of experience. And these are some of my power partners. So let me introduce them. We have Lynn Lionhood. She is a Legal Shield and ID Shield representative, and she's also over networking inside the membership. We have Tawana Lowery, and she is a story sharing coach, and she does an amazing program. What is the name of your program?
It's called Message for Millions.
That's right, Message for Millions. I'm actually in the middle of it right now. You would think I would know that. And then Allie and Creel, and they do web design. And Allie actually just did my rebranding. And Lynn is the person who brought me into networking online. So I have great relationships with these people, and that's why I'm sharing them with my audience.
Well, fantastic. There you go. Let's get the party started because people know this. And I want to give a shout out to the folks who made it. Tracy, Donna, Nicole. We got, Nathan's in the house, Nathan Mitchell. All right. He was crazy enough to take your invitation to the Hounds. So glad he did. And we're having tech issues, so some of the LinkedIn's not coming in, but I will do my best to give you guys a shout out. And so let's start with you, Coleen. So running a business. Oh, you're speaking my language. I spent over 3 years in my current state with 3 businesses, grinding myself to a pulp. Yeah, and if we're honest, lots of people do that. And it's normal to start that way in a lot of cases. If you're building from dirt, no clue like this guy, but you don't want to stay that way. So juggling tasks, right? Doing, answering the phones, taking out the garbage, doing all the 50 million things that you probably don't need to do. That's what this is about. That's what your business is about. I'm so excited because I need it yesterday, right? And we talked about this yesterday on the radio show, that you don't lose heart with automation. In fact, you got more heart. You can bring more quality energy and excitement to your clients because you're not wore out in all the busy work, right?
Right. And you can go out and meet people, bring them in that way. Exactly.
And so do me a favor, because give folks your background a little bit, because you're not new to the game. You're a brick and mortar badass, right?
So I'm so old to this game. And so over the past 36 years now, I've built 8 brick and mortar businesses from concept to profit. The first 6, I jumped in head first, like a cold water plunge, right? I just dove right in and fought against the pain and just went 80 hours a week, right? Building it all out, doing everything myself, missing out on all the memories with my kids. I had kids sleeping under my cash register. It was just a hot mess. It was successful hot mess. And so I would get burned out and sell it for a profit and take a break and do it again. By the time I came to my 7th and 8th business, I went, you know what? What can I do different? Because I am too old to keep playing the game. I need to have balance in my life. I need to have boundaries. And so I made a list of things that I was willing to do and a list of things that had to have my signature touch. And if it didn't have to have my signature touch, I automated or delegated it. And guess what? My business was way more successful. I didn't lose anything by giving up control of those things at all.
Music to my ears. But in my case, I'm going to say it, right? Going to automate things is like up there with taxes and proctology. I just don't want to go do that, right? Like, it's embarrassing, people are like, why aren't you already done it? And that's what I like about you, because you're like, no judgment here. especially for folks midlife, right? If you're 40s, 50s, then it really gets, you really feel, I felt goofy. Man, I can't even work an Etch a Sketch nowadays, but that's nice because you don't care. You're just like, okay, let me find out what you need, what your issues are, and let me go fix it. And clients have come back and said, it's already done. That's impressive.
Right.
Or they're thinking you're just getting started and you're already finished. Right.
Yeah. And the thing is, Mike, is that you didn't come online to learn tech. Right? No, okay, so why should you bother with it then?
Bingo.
I mean, if you know enough to be dangerous, that you probably shouldn't even do it. Just let somebody else do it. And what it does is you came online with a mission and a heart. You had something you really wanted to share with the world, something that you've developed, something you've experienced, something that you are madly passionate about. And 9 times out of 10, it's not learning new tech skills. And so if I can take your back end and simplify your customer relationship management by building your website, your landing page, connecting all the bits and pieces and getting it to run smoothly. So all you need to do is check in and see if you've got any new messages you need to respond to. You need to maybe input people that you met in person that didn't come in through an electronic device. That gives you the freedom to actually go do what you actually came online to do, to go be the face and voice of your business. And there's so much freedom in that. When you can do that, you're a happier person. You're a better person. Your business thrives.
Well, and listen, I like to be in the poster child for stuff that everybody does and no one wants to admit. But I was sitting there going, well, I can do it. And then I realized you're like a lot of us, whether you're doing it now or you will be soon, you can make a lot of money providing value to people. So you're going to pass up $2,000 to go do a $50 task, right? Go pay somebody else to do that task so you can make another $5,000, right? And that's wisdom, right?
Well, and the secret is, Mike, is that when you surround yourself with people that are powerhouses in what they do, when you look at them and you're drawn to them and they look like, wow, amazing networker. Wow, she has her story branding right down pat. Wow, she creates amazing websites and you're drawn to them. You surround yourself with people like that, your light gets brighter. You shine brighter. You look better. People want to do business with you because you're surrounded by that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like throwing a party and, can I come in? Yeah. I mean, if you're building a business and you see a bunch of winners pushing each other up and making things happen and no stupid DMs and dog catching tactics, yeah, very attractive. And I tell people all the time, if you don't do it in dating, you shouldn't do it in marketing, dadgummit. All y'all be single, pull that stuff in the marketing world. So thank you for leading the charge. And I know these people, these folks agree because they wouldn't be here. Like they love to build value, reputation, and relationships. It makes selling a whole lot easier, right? So let's lead into this and then I want to hear from these amazing folks. So launch into leadership. What was the spark behind creating it? Why this and why now?
So many reasons. The first is that when I came on, and I'll give this experience of my VA, Ken, people said to me, you need to get a VA. You're really at a point you need a VA. And I was like, no way am I hiring someone from another country and sending them money. I don't know them from Adam. I don't trust them. They don't know my business. And then I met Ken, and she was introduced to me by somebody else. And when I met her, I went, oh, okay. And I built that trust up with her and started using her services, right? And what I realized is that now after working with her for months and months, now I can say to other people confidently, look, reach out and use Ken. Use her. And people will say, are you sure you want me to take your VA? I'm like, honey, you're not going to take her. Since she started working with me, she built an entire agency.
Oh, wow.
Like she knows what she's doing and she's good. And I can confidently recommend people. And so for somebody coming online like I did, right? Like a little scared cat, like I've never been online. I don't know what to do or who to trust. I want to do all these things, but I don't know how. If they can come into the membership and they can be like, oh, that's who I'm supposed to get to help me with books. That's who I'm supposed to get to help me with my brand strategy. That's who I'm supposed to get to help me with ads. That's someone that is trusted, that this person that I know and trust, that builds that relationship. And that's why this is the perfect time. I've solidified my relationships with these people. I've used their services. I intermingle with them. I can call them. These are people I would have in my home. And so that doesn't happen super quick. You know that, Mike. You've been online for a while. You know that those things don't just happen. And so when they do happen, there's a lot of value to that. And who am I to hide that value from the world? when I can make somebody else's journey that much easier by sharing them.
Yeah, and that's not stuff you say just for a marketing ploy. That you
No.
believe that. That's why we work so well together. That's why I'm so happy and thrilled to have you as a power partner in the Hounds. Because it's not just about us. If somebody needs you, I'm going to send them straight to you, right? And that's because it's in their best interest. So on that note, let's go right to Tawana, right? Tawana, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here. And
Thank you so much.
it's okay you outdress me. It's all right. It happens all the time. In fact, it's over here. I'll probably go get it. I tied my tie on the last show. It was embarrassing. So I'll make a clip of it. But
It's quite all right. Camouflage is not in my color wheel, so I just don't do it.
See, I was wondering about that. It's 50-50, right? So your session and what you're all about is magnetic power of story sharing, right? So
Right.
why is story such a secret weapon for entrepreneurs? And is it, is it good when you're starting off, when you're already up there, or you should never? It should always be a tempo. Tell us a little bit.
The answer is yes. Before, during, and even in the middle of anything that you're doing with your business. So here's what we know, right? I'm from Alabama, Roll Tide, and so I like to say the Alabama girl is going to tell you the ugly truth. And here it is: if you don't have story sharing, some people call it story branding. I like to call it story sharing. If you don't have that walking alongside you, no matter how great your product or service is, the market's going to see you as a boring commodity, and your ideal client is going to choose the competition. Basically, you're going to be invisible and forgettable. And I know that small business owners work way too hard to have that, hanging above their head or working against them, right? What we know, and the research shows us this, and the brain science shows us this as well, that when you have story sharing and you're using that as part of, your toolkit, so to speak, now you're going to elevate yourself above that competition, because we've all got competition. Everybody does.
Right.
What's going to make you stand out from them? It's your story. And then you're going to be memorable, and you deserve to be memorable, right? The other thing we know about story sharing is that when I say it's kind of like a superhero, I really mean it, because your story goes ahead of you and knocks down the objections that your ideal client is already playing in their mind. And so you're able to, leverage the power of your story to overcome those objections that they may not always tell you, but your story is going to do it on your behalf, and you're not going to sound pushy and salesy. And you're basically just building really strong connections with the people that need what you have, even if they don't know it yet.
Oh, I love that. I found out the hard way. See, I should have met you way before I drove off that bridge 50 times. No, but seriously, true or false? Since this is your wheelhouse, so I'm asking for me and the audience.
Yeah.
Do you see that sometimes people who have the better offer, right? Maybe they're just better all around, will lose out because someone else has the better story. They have the better positioning. They have the better systems. That it's not your product. It's because it's not being seen. It's like being dimmed like a light. Do you see that a lot? Or?
Well, no, that's a great point, and I'm glad you brought it up. And here's the research that backs it up. People don't make decisions with their head. They make decisions with their heart, and then they justify it with their logic, right?
Yeah.
And so you're spot on that someone who, I'm not saying they have something that's not as quality, but people don't really remember all of the details about the bells and the whistles and the facts and the stats. The research tells us that they remember a story 22 times more than the list and the stats and the facts. People say, "Oh, that story sharing is woo-woo." It isn't. The research backs it up. And here's why. It's because you're making connection with them when you're sharing your story. And we know people want to hear it. In fact, we know that 68% of people make a decision, they make a purchasing decision from a story. So I like to say, you need to lean in hard on what the research is telling us. And the reason that is so true with people remembering your story, look, that's huge. That's double digit, right? If you want to make a double digit return on your investment, well, you're going to make a double digit return when you think about it like that, just by sharing your story. And the reason is because our brains are pre-programmed, wired to love stories. It fires on all parts of the brain: language, motor, memory, emotions, everything. So when you're telling stories, when you're sharing a story in a professional way, obviously you need to do it in a professional, curated way. It is just gold. It is a home run. And I tell people, look, just lean in on how people are naturally made. Don't swim upstream. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir, and I want folks to chime in, but I gotta ask this. I could talk about this all day, but we can't. All right, but we got to give this to the folks. My story isn't worth telling. It's not that great. Who's gonna care? And then personally, I realized one day, I said, yeah, because you're not a storyteller. It's like, if you look at every great athlete, super athlete, Olympic athlete, they have coaches, right? Colleen's a great proponent of this. Go find someone else who knows it and then let them walk you through it. That's why it wasn't my story that sucked. It was just, I'm not a storyteller. I'm a community dude, right? I push people up. So do you find that, is that really the issue? Everybody's got a great story. They just don't know how to articulate it. That's where you come in?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Some people don't know that they have a story. Some people feel like they have a story, but the bridge is, how do I share it? And number two is, how do I make it relevant to my business, right? And what I would say is, every business person out there, if you're a coach, a solopreneur, whatever it is, there's a why behind why you did this business, right? Well, when people want to know it, they want to know your why. And when you're sharing that, you're not only sharing like things that are going to relate to them, because here's the thing: story sharing makes you relatable, it makes you credible, it makes you memorable. But now you're going to be able to take the life lessons that you learned from your struggles or your difficulties. And I'm not saying air all your dirty laundry. You don't have to do that. Right. You want to be able to share the things that are relevant to what your audience needs to hear. And there's things that you've learned. There's life lessons. There's core values. And I'm telling you, the best way that you can make a heart connection with your ideal audience is with your story. It is gold. And most small business owners don't even realize that they are carrying around their greatest business asset. Now, look, I have a great program that I take people through. I make it easy. I make it fun. But at the end of the day, they walk away with something magnificent, something magnetic that can actually turn their business around, or at least elevate it and help them scale.
Okay, you're clearly the expert. All right, you clearly love helping people, and you got the accent. I mean, that's the cherry on top. I mean, come on. Anytime I get bested on the Southern accent, we got to clap, folks. There you go, clap. All right. So, yeah, absolutely. And this was life-changing. And this could go on and drag people back for years if they're not aware of this. This is one of the fundamentals, right? So thank you for sharing that. We're going to get back to it. I want to go to Lynn. I always want to mess up her name. It's Lion Hood. All right, so I got that. And first of all, I am a huge proponent of protection, right? Not going crazy, but I love what you do. You work with Legal Shield, right? You do ID theft, you protect assets, and then help people that need help, because I'm not a lawyer at all. I couldn't even play one on TV to save my life. So I 1000%, every time somebody goes, should I do that? Yes, absolutely. Yes, do that. And because of that, I'm assuming, because you're a master networker, you love people, you go out there. Our interaction was all about me. Who doesn't like that, right? I ain't talking about, what did she talk about? Me. Yeah, and it's authentic and it's real. So anyway, you're coming to this summit, right? You bring a very practical angle, helping entrepreneurs with the legal issues that they might face, prevention of, and identity protection. So why do so many small business owners skip this step until they're already in the thick of it and it's too late?
I think they think that they cannot afford legal help, which is what we've all been taught. We just can't afford it. They're too expensive. I mean, we don't make the kind of money that lawyers make. And so they go ask Uncle Bob, or they ask their mother or their father or the neighbor or the business owner down the street, not knowing whether he's successful or not. We ask all their opinions. And what we're really doing is we're just guessing.
And some of these issues could cost them their business. So it's extremely important that they get good information from somebody that knows what they're doing. And so when I heard about this, I thought, no, this is too good to be true. I didn't know about this for years and years. And yet this company was out there. It was just a well-kept secret. And I said, no matter what I was doing, and I was doing other benefits at the time, I said, I think I'm going to do just this benefit. People need to know that that is out there. So it was powerful. So yes, it's all about thinking they can't afford it. That's why I say, let me talk to you.
Oh, it's nuts. And because I'm in finance, I don't talk about it much because nobody cares, quite frankly, right? After I help people make money, then I'm like, hey, let me help you, right? They trust me already. But it's wild. People have an apprehension of this. And you know, I'm sorry, but knock it off. This is a legit, how long has it been around? Legal Shield itself has been around since like what, the wagon wheel or something? Like
53 years. 53
Yeah.
years. So this is not a startup company. They really know what they're doing. It's really valuable.
And most companies, or at least as they expand, right, should or do, and major companies, obviously, they have attorneys on retainer, they have staff. But the little person, right, the startups and the, you know, the mom and pop, even the small enterprise, it's very hard. But I'm telling you, I've seen it. You know, you could get sued for being ugly. Don't mean they'll win. It still means that you have to take the time to go spend money and aggravation, and no one has that. I mean, most of us are working 16-hour days when we start. I mean, if you're like me. So hats off to you, because like this should be to me, Legal Shield, and I'm not even a rep. I'm just excited because it saved my butt many, many times, folks. I mean it. It's like having a bottle of water for like 50 cents in the desert. That's easy. So if someone wants to safeguard their business, right, protect, prevent, get good and guidance from the start without breaking the bank, because it's stupid affordable, what's the smartest move they can make?
Have a 5-minute conversation with me. I mean, let me ask you a question. How many times did you walk into Costco and they were giving free samples of, let's say, mint chocolate chip ice cream on that little Barbie doll spoon, and you didn't even like mint chocolate chip ice cream, but you tasted it, and the next thing you know, you walked out with a 50-gallon drum of mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yeah,
So I tell people, just try it for 30 days. Go make a list of all the problems that you've got as a business owner. A lot of them will come to me because people owe them money, and they've tried very unsuccessfully to get that money back. That's extremely important. They cannot afford to be the bank for their customers.
No.
And they'll tell me, well, I've written them letters. They're not listening. I've gone to attorneys, too expensive. And I've gone to debt collection companies. They want 30 to 50%. I said, I'll tell you what, why don't you try this for 1 month? Less than $50. You go give them 10 collections. Let's just say those collections were $2,000 a piece. That's very small. I mean, for my doctors and my dentists and my construction companies, it's $10,000, $15,000, $30,000. So let's just say it was only $2,000. You sent out 10 letters. Let's say 5 of them weren't even answered, and you collected $10,000 that month. Legal Shield keeps none of the money, none of it. It all goes directly to you. How can you not justify that? You probably spend more than $50 on toilet paper in your business for the month. It's well worth it.
Yeah.
See?
Especially
Very much. And I mean, even when the Affordable Care Act came out, that was like horrendous. I was listening to people saying to me, they were asking the guy down the street what they should do, because you had to provide benefits to people if you had more than 50 employees. So here's a guy who built his business. He now has 70 employees. He's so proud of how big he's gotten. And now he doesn't want to buy benefits, so he's got to get rid of 20 employees. Well, he doesn't want to fire him. He knows these people. He loves his people. So what he did, on the advice of the guy down the street, was to take 21 of those employees, which puts him under 50, takes 21 of them and tells them, I'm going to make you an independent contractor, not an employee anymore. Well, just because you are a fairy godmother and say they're an independent contractor doesn't make them one. Right. But the guy down the street told him that was what he could do. So I said, listen, here's what you need to know. You've got Mary. She's been your receptionist now for 15 years. You go in and tell Mary, hey, listen, Mary, I'm going to make you an independent contractor, because the guy down the street said I could do it. So I'm just not going to pay for your benefits anymore. And I'm not going to take taxes out of your money anymore. That's all I have to do. So what happens is 2 years later, he decides he's going to get rid of Mary, and he tells Mary she's terminated, and Mary goes to unemployment. But unemployment's going to ask Mary, where'd you work? And she's going to tell him, and she's going to tell him how long. And while Mary begins to fill out paperwork, and after she's told him what she did there, she's filling out paperwork, and they're going to figure out, why did Sam stop paying taxes on her 2 years ago? She's still an employee. You could literally lose your business, because once they're figuring out why you didn't pay taxes on her, they're now doing an investigation on all your 1099s and your employees. And they say, whoa, he's got 21 people he stopped paying taxes on. You're in big trouble. And I'll tell you what, I'll guarantee you, I'd put my house up that the guy down the street who gave you that advice will not admit he gave you that advice while you're being investigated and losing your business. So I'd say, go get your advice from somebody who knows what they're doing. It's just well worth it. $50 is not going to break you.
No, and my whole argument, we're going to move on and come back, but my whole argument, because I was skeptical, man. That's why I took so long to flourish. I really was. I was like, oh, that don't work. Yeah, don't be that guy. But, I've realized that these are reputable firms. This is not just some, back office. These are like reputable law firms. I mean, they charge hundreds of dollars an hour. And for somebody like me to have access to that before and during an issue it's amazing. It's absolutely. I got my security deposit back years ago because I had it. Because they didn't want to go through it. They's like, oh, wow, he's going to spend $2,000 to fight a $500 deposit. They just gave it back. But they took everybody else's deposit because they didn't have no protection, right? And that's the problem. All right. So it's equal in the playing field. Thank you for doing that. And I'm glad, because some certain things get stigmas, and it's just ridiculous, right? And I like to speak up. I love it. I've been a client for 15 years or something like that, and I'm not going to stop it. So thank you for doing that.
So just take your taste test like you did at Costco. Try it for 30 days. Work them like a dog, and then make up your money at the end of the month if it was worth it.
Yeah. Did she hear us the other day when I said that? Like Costco, the little old lady with the stick and the sausage. I didn't plan on buying 5 of those, but I did it after. Yeah.
5. I get that big giant cart. I'm in trouble.
Oh, yes. Me and you can't go shopping at all.
No, okay. I had to buy another freezer because I shopped at Costco.
All right. Well, we're going to get back to you because, come on, right? We could talk forever. But Allie and Kirill, hopefully I said that correctly.
That was great.
Yeah, this is the third time I said it right. I'm on a roll. Look, pat on the back. All right. So you've worked with many small businesses and medium cap businesses. Tell folks what you do and what's the state of most entrepreneurs in your space? Like, are they getting it, or are they just wasting time and money and being frustrated? Tell us what you do and how you help.
Totally, Mike. Thanks. And what we do, one of the things that we enjoy the most doing is web design. And we've been working on this for over 11 years. And we've seen thousands of websites, and of course, many of those are small businesses, entrepreneurs, and of course, the big guys, big companies. But when we see small businesses websites, most of them still look very rough. And nowadays there are this kind of tools like do-it-yourself type of builders, AI, and that's all very good. But it's good to put something online, but they don't really fix the real problem. Most sites still look very unprofessional and don't build trust. I'm sure all of us in the panel and everyone who's watching have visited different types of websites, and you get a sense of like, I like this website, I like it for some reason, or oh my God, what's this website about? I really dislike it. Or maybe you were even going to hire someone and you were like, okay, let's go check their website and let's see if we can book a call, or we can, I can learn more about this company. But then you'll get there and this company actually has a website that instead of helping you close deals, they are actually pushing people away. And that's not the idea of websites. They are a huge salesperson, let's say, a 24/7 sales tool that should be working for you. And the question that we always ask is your business being seen? It all starts with the visuals. there's a lot of strategy, there are a lot of tools, marketing, ads, SEO, a lot of things behind every business. But the very first thing we do, like most of us at least, is we see something, and that's the first impression we have of something, and that can open an initial door. And what we do is connect that strategy of, like, the stories, what the company is about, the USP, all the specificities that a company has, and bring that into strategy, into the visuals, because there's a huge emotional and psychological element behind design, that some of these elements we actually observe awarely, but some of them subconsciously. So we put all this information, we go deep into every business, and not only what this business is, but what the business vision is, so that we can project that and people can feel that and connect, and emotionally and psychologically connect with this. And that's what we do with websites. It's not, even if a website looks nice, which many actually don't, but even if it looks nice, if it lacks the strategy, exactly. But if it lacks the strategy, what are you going to do? You're attracting the wrong kind of people. You're not connecting effectively, and it shouldn't be doing that. So that's what we do.
Okay, number one, yeah, absolutely. And I've got a great question to ask you. But number two, that's not an Alabama accent, right? Or is that accent?
No, but we're in Colombia right now. I'm South American. Yeah, like I'm Ecuadorian and Colombian. So yeah. Started working with US-based companies for 8 years now and counting.
So you two work together?
Yep.
We're a couple, 13 years together and also counting.
Oh, that's so cute. Everybody put "aw" in the comments. Come on now. Oh, that is adorable. All right.
We met in New York, and yeah, here we are 13 years later, doing what we love, because we love.
Oh my goodness. I got plenty of people around. If y'all still in New York, I got plenty of hounds. And from Colombia. Yeah. So I know them all. International redneck of mystery right here. So let me put it this way. I used to have the ugly baby syndrome in business, right? Where now tools, AI, that's so common and it's so affordable. So everybody's saying, or a lot of people think, oh, I can do that myself. I'll just do it. Why would I pay someone else to do it? I could save money. Yeah. Right. So what do you find when that happens? Do they actually do it well, or do they come back to you after wasting time and money?
I mean, most of the time they still come back. It's like Lynn said. I mean, you can ask Bob, you can ask your mom, but it's something very valuable, something very important, and you don't know all that. Yeah, you can learn how to design a website, and you can learn all that. Of course, we all have the potential, but it's going to take you a couple of years. We've been doing this for a long time now, and we've been getting great results already. So why would you? It's a luxury that to be able to hire someone to bring your vision to life. And it's not like we are all here and we want to actually add value to businesses. It's not about like, this is only for the big guys. No, we are here for the small businesses as well. So it's definitely something you should invest in if you really believe in growing your business. And stop wasting your time. You have a lot of other things that you are more valuable for, don't make money there. Don't save money here, because you're just gonna get burnt out and not get results.
Well, it seems like you and Tawana would be a powerhouse team, right? Somebody understood what they're about, their story. It's captivating, right? People resonate. That's going to make it easier for you guys. I mean, right? You just can't come in and build me a website, right? Like,
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. We work a lot with brand strategists, and storytelling is huge there. So yeah.
Right. And so is there an activity, right? So can someone do something before reaching out to you? So if somebody wants to improve their website, what can they do, or, on their own before they come to you? Is there something they can do before they, to see a bigger impact?
Totally. And there are different priorities for businesses, but, one of the tools that we provide is like, we love running website audits for people. And it's amazing because for some businesses, it might be for the very beginning, and we love seeing how they implement this. there are different principles when it comes to web design, and we have a freebie on that. But if you are going to start working on your website, what we would recommend, like to get the fastest wins, start with simplifying. So clean up the clutter. You don't need, like very text heavy blocks on your website. You don't need like a lot of wording that confuses people visually, and like content wise. Something also very important, stick to your brand fonts and colors. If you don't have a font, stick to one font. Don't mix 10 types of fonts. Don't do that, please don't. Colors also, you might have already a couple of colors for your branding. Use them consistently. You know how you show up, if you show up consistently, people perceive you as such. You do consistent work. And like the images, we don't like to see texts that are like, who's gonna read that? We also like to see images in the websites, but make sure that they look sharp and don't stretch them. Please don't stretch them so that they look pixelated and weird. Keep the same ratio and make sure that they have the right size and the right quality so that it's pleasant for the eye. Once you do that, check, is the most important message clear? Because that's what your website should be doing, or your landing page. They should be communicating an important message so that there is a strong CTA that, like the action to take next is crystal clear. There shouldn't be any guessing like, oh, what should I do next? Should I book a call? Should I do this? No, the action on your website, on your landing page should be one and clear. And there you are. Like just fixing those basics can really make a massive difference.
You just gave a master class in like 3 minutes on the whole thing. No, if y'all don't go and learn, like, I can't imagine what you're going to teach at the summit. I mean, gee whiz, right? All of you have done that. And by the way, speaking of wisdom, because you are full of it, what a wise man next to you. Yeah, I've been married. I've been 24 years. I know too. Just chill. Let her do it. Right. So
thanks.
would you like to add anything, or would you like to pop it in? And because this is really fun. I love couples doing things together. I mean, I really like working with happy couples. So what's your take on it? Anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with everything what you just said. There is actually nothing to add. But the most important thing, in my opinion,
that's the right
and actually that's what Ali said. Less information, less text. So that's how it works.
Yeah. Oh, so, that's Dev 2's part right there, man. Keep it up.
Yeah. One of the most important sense of human beings is the sight. It's the most important thing what we have. Like that's how we see the world, and that's why it is really important. We buy with our eyes. We don't buy with sometimes with the ears. I don't know, but usually we use our eyes to buy. Yeah. So that's maybe what I wanted to add.
Yeah. No. Well said, my friend. And see, you're. This is so nice. All right, I'm gonna be.
Can I add a little something to what Ali said?
Yeah, of course.
Here's something that I think people need to think about. People of Ali's age, those are younger people. They're used to having websites. They understand the value and the importance. Sometimes the older generation doesn't understand the strong need for it. It's like having a business and not having a telephone number. You have to have a way for people to reach you. I'm going to give you an example real quick. My second daughter was a chemical engineer. She was going out to large manufacturing plants and revamping their lines for them on how things were to be done. She needed steel-toed shoes to wear. She's a girly girl. She didn't want work boots. She wanted girly-looking shoes that were steel-toed. There was a shop a few blocks from my house that had what she wanted for less money, but she didn't know they had it. So she went online because she's younger, and she found it somewhere else, paid more money, but the guy showed a whole line of what she was looking for. She bought several pairs. So my example there is that gentleman down there, when I asked him, why didn't she come to you? Because she didn't know you existed because you didn't have a web presence. And you know what he said? I don't think I need a website. I said, why? He said, because we didn't use websites when I was young. I said, that's the problem. You don't understand. It's not about what you need. It's what your customer is looking for. You know how many of her you have passed up on? If you just talked to somebody who knew how to put your product out on a website, you'd make far more business. It would pay for itself over and over and over again.
Yeah. Did you ask him where he parked the horse and buggy? Because that's
isn't that the truth?
Right.
Honestly.
Like, I don't like them cars. We didn't have that back in my day. All right.
That's right.
But again, wisdom shouts in the streets. That's all. Yeah. I tell you what, how about we do this? How about we give a shout out to Coleen, right? A couple folks that made this possible. They pushed this out, and we want to make sure, because this panel is full of not just brilliant people, trustworthy, honest people. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I'm going to interrupt you, and I'm just going to say that I hope you take a look around and really understand the depth of the value in this room.
Oh, yeah.
You understand that you just unpacked my treasure box, right?
I did.
Like, these are my people. These are the people that I will sit down and break bread with, that I will defend, that I will work with in a heartbeat. They've brought nothing but value to me, my business, and my life. And who am I to not share that with everybody else? So when you come into my membership and you see that this is the quality, this is it. This is the quality. This is what we're offering in there. These are the people that truly care. They're real people with real stories. You're not going to hear, oh, I don't work with you because you don't make enough money, or I don't work with you, you haven't been in business long enough. You can't say something to Tawana as a story sharing coach that is going to shock her. She's going to help you weed out exactly what your audience needs to hear and how to say it and how to do it authentically. That's the power of this summit, is we're bringing these people together. We're bringing them together as a gift to the community so that you can see that together we grow stronger. That's the point and purpose in this, is to strengthen all the small businesses so that they have all the tools that they need to build a business they're madly passionate about.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. See, if I would have went out and DM'd and sprayed nonsense in a email, she would have pepper sprayed me over Zoom. But that's not what I did. I went over there and pushed up the amazing Nicole Borghi because I saw great value and honesty. And look what happened. And look who we get to run with. And look who's in the comments.
You know who Nicole is to me?
Who's that?
Inside my membership, she's the power partner over events.
Well, yeah, I'm not running my own summit. I didn't think you were either.
No, I'm not running my summit. Heck no, I got a Nicole. I don't even know how to know. I don't even need to know how to do it. And that's the thing I love. If she'll just tell me what costume to put on and where to be and how to show up, I'm there. The rest of it, I don't care. These are people that don't need micromanaged. They don't need your input. They will get back to you and give you your product or whatever you need delivered the way that you want it. And that's priceless in business.
And you don't have to be awkward, all put together and pitch slappy. And you just come in and build relationships, right? Just Lynn, I mean, you know, she can go to the grocery store, probably pull down 4 clients, just being a decent human being and not even trying, right? Yeah. That's what we're talking about. And that's what the Hounds is made on. When I tried to sell stuff, it was awful. I lost hair. It was just some, right? Then I start loving on people. I tell them, I say, that's the corniest stuff you ever hear a redneck say. But it's the God's honest truth. I just loved on people and it just exploded. Right? Because they expect me to say I'm great, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's advertising. But what they don't expect, folks, and listen, they don't expect hundreds and thousands of super pros of all walks of life and high reputation to say you're great. And that's what's happening because it's legit. It's intentional, but it's organic. And I love this. So, and we're not bragging. This is an invitation. If you're out there thinking, oh, I suck at business or I suck at X, Y, and Z, you don't suck. You just don't know what you don't know yet. That's the whole invitation. Come in, be surrounded by people who push you up, who's been there and done that, no judgment, and learn what you need to go out there and make that impact, right? There's nothing wrong with you. You just don't know what you don't know, and you probably don't have the support like we have here. That's it. That's the invitation, folks. And if we're not a good fit, you know what we're going to do? No kidding. We're going to send you where you need to go because that's what we do here, all right? So, and by the way, the Hounds doesn't gobble up half the communities anyway because that's what we're doing. We're affordable, accessible. Right? We want to make things affordable and accessible, and that's your style. So real quick shout out, then we're going to open it up because Boz asked some questions. Folks in the comments, if you want to ask some, I don't want to keep the folks till midnight, but I will stretch them as long as they want to go. And let's go. So there you go, folks. Coleen, she helps people. We've talked about it. Go meet her. And also her Monday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, right? Because that's New York City time. And it was amazing. I met Nathan there. I met a lot of great people there. It is phenomenal. And I am more than happy to support and promote that. We need more of that. that was so amazing. And you spotlight amazing people. Everybody gets to share. So pop into the system, get to know Coleen. And then real quick, this guy, he is just like you are. Maybe he needs to come to the next summit. This is Greg Moore. He's got accolades. He's got a Tom Brokaw resume, and you never know it because this man is the only guy I've met. I'm sure they're out there, but the only person I've met that says, no, don't do that. Don't do a franchise, right? He's very much an educator. He will tell you the good, bad, and ugly and help you find where you need to go. If you need a bootstrap, do that. If a franchise makes sense, he's going to do the research for you and with you. So, and you were on the summit with him with Nicole, right? You know this guy is the real deal. He had such a great convo. So thank you, Greg, for being upright, for doing things in people's best interest. Appreciate you. So start with Greg. All right, I'm biased. And last but not least, Megan Robinson, E-Leader Experience. Everybody wants to talk about culture, especially Fortune 1000 companies. But what's culture made of? People, right? So you can have the best processes on planet Earth, but if your people aren't on board and they're not behind it and your leadership's not behind it, good luck. You just wasted a lot of money, right? You're bleeding sales, bleeding revenue. So this lady has been there and done that. She is absolutely brilliant. She needs to go to your thing. I've been on her about it. So we got to plug her into these brilliant ladies and people as well. So thank you, Megan. Folks, if you're out there wondering why you're not doing better, talk to Megan. She's not a sales lady. She's an absolute professional. I back her 1,000. So that's it. Just had to get the shout out. And Coleen, I'll tell you what, before we dive into the questions and have a free for all for the last 15 or so minutes, just take us home. I'm going to put the promo graphic back up. This summit is going to bring together 12 powerhouse partners. What can attendees expect when they walk away from this 3-day awesome event?
You know what? They're going to walk away feeling confident. They're going to feel confident that their dream isn't skewed, that what they dreamed of doing with their business is really doable, that they can do it, and that they now are going to have the tools, the resources, the people, the strategies that they need to build their business that they're madly passionate about. So they're going to come in, probably have questions about what to do, who they should talk to, how to do things exactly right. And we're going to go through one by one through the power partners. And they're each going to share their area of expertise. And they're going to give away their strategies. And they're going to help you understand that, yes, even you, can build a business that you're madly passionate about.
Daggum straight. Enough said. All right. No redneck commentary necessary. All right. So, all right, let's get to it. So Baz had some questions, and we're just going to do this like a bunch of hungry dogs with one food bowl. All right. So whoever wants to get it, get it. And I know Lynn's going to, so don't worry. So who we got? And I know why Nicole likes you so much. Yeah, I get it. I knew that's going to happen.
You dislike me because I'm a country girl.
I'm a little biased toward that too, especially Tawana, right? The accent, right? So let's see who had a great question. Baz had a couple of them. Help me out.
Baz said, what's the most common fear you see in the industry?
Thank you. I'll find it before midnight. Who wants to tackle that? We ain't heard from Tawana for a while.
Yeah, sure. I would say the greatest fear is fear. People are actually afraid of sharing their story. And most of it comes from they're just not sure how to craft it, or they have kind of fear of public speaking or fear of talking about their why. But what they'll find when they work with someone like me or in story sharing is that when you put your story together, you really begin to have a greater appreciation for your own journey, and you elevate your own self in your own mind, right? So you're able to show up for your ideal client with greater confidence, with greater clarity, and with greater conviction that you bring something so unique to the table that the competition doesn't bring. Now, look, we want everybody to win, right? But I want you to win. And so when you go through that process of putting your story together, I would say you begin to appreciate your own journey. So, Mike, I love to say it like this, right? We've all seen a few summers and we've all had a few setbacks. If you haven't had a setback by the time you're 30, I don't know, maybe you had a perfect life. So I just love to say it like this. With all the hell you've been through, you should be a statistic, but you're not. So why don't you take the hell that tried to kill you and turn it into cash? And that is exactly what I help people do with their story, right? leverage it for your advantage.
Yeah. See, that's why I should have met you way before now, because I wish somebody told me that on career day. Oh, I didn't want to be in my 40s figuring out the hard way. But you're absolutely right, because that's what we relate to. I don't want to take a course, read a book by somebody who had no problems and everything was just great. I want to hear from people who just kept, and not that I, repeat mistakes on purpose, but like we watch movies like Rocky for a reason, right? Right. And that's it. If you go, oh, well, Rocky's story is great, but mine's crap. No, you just need a Tawana to help you put that out there in your own voice. And here's what I like about you, because I looked at your stuff. You're not out here stretching it and making it and, oh, victim and all that. You're saying, look, tell the story. It's just like movies. Tell your story in a way that resonates. So people go, oh, my God, is she or he reading my mind? How do they know that? Yeah, you know that because they went through it. It's like throwing the bat symbol in the sky. Well, Batman's supposed to show up, right? Peacocks, feathers to attract other peacocks, not dogs, not chickens, right? Sorry, Coleen, but she likes chickens and roosters, and she chases them around on the weekend. People didn't know that. I forgot they didn't hear us backstage. But the point is, you have a powerful story, and here's the thing: if you try to market steak to vegans, don't feel like you suck. I did that. I would tell the story to the wrong market. That was my problem. Anybody else have that problem where you would tell your story and then people, because you're in the wrong room and it's not your story, right?
So, let me add to that, Mike, that one of the things that Tawana does is she helps you to tell your story professionally. And so you're not telling parts that don't need told, right? And then on top of that, I will just say that I was raised by a grammar Nazi. I may be a grammar Nazi, and I speak different than a lot of people do. We speak different in our home, but working with Tawana has helped me to understand, to speak how my audience understands. And there's a big difference. If they have to think too hard about what you're saying, then you've already lost them. And so she has the magic formula that can teach you to simplify what you're saying and speak in a manner that your audience understands. And then as far as your story, I think people are afraid to tell their story because the details are like gory, and they don't understand that she can help you sort it out and turn it out so it comes out more professionally.
Yeah. Mike, speaking on that same vein, Mike, I think the biggest thing that I see is people lack confidence in themselves. And I think that it all goes right back to that very same vein. They need to really show the passion that they had that put them in that business. I mean, most entrepreneurs are different than employees. Employees are there because they just need that check. Entrepreneurs are there because something in their life they were passionate about, they now decided to follow. And they're not conveying that message to their clients. They need to let them know why they want to do what they're doing. Once people understand that, they're more apt to stay your client.
Yes.
Right, because you relate to them. Me and Colleen's talked about this 100 times. Skill's not enough, folks. There's 1 billion active people on LinkedIn, and there's 8 billion people on this planet. To me, the cheat code to all that nonsense I was told to do, like, oh, be this way, be incongruent, be someone you're not. If you want to sell your soul. No. I pushed up people and connected with folks like this, and it took care of itself, right? And
so, Mike, I want to just add something to this. We are in a trust recession because of AI, and it's unregulated. People don't know what's real, what they can trust, who they can trust. Your story builds a massive bridge of trust and credibility and integrity. So please don't underestimate it, and lean into the fact that people want real connection now more than ever. They want to know that they can trust you, and the story is the thing that does that.
Right, and every one of you all, and the folks on the panel, on the summit, in the comments, that's the unifier. Well said. Absolutely. I can listen to you read the phone book. You do. You just have this story. We need to connect her with Royce Blake, Mr. Radio Voice. That's a power team waiting to happen right there. Not since Bert and Ernie have I thought of a better team. Well, I'll make it happen. Don't let me forget. Anybody else want to
just don't make me wear camouflage. I can't do it.
No,
not our color wheel.
It's not my color wheel.
Blue is your color. I'm a UK fan. It's perfect. So, yeah. Anybody want to chime in on that, or do we want to go to another bias question? He always got
I
great questions.
wanted to add something to that.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there is this recession in terms of trust, and also there's a huge need for connection. You know, people disconnected progressively so to such level that they really need to connect nowadays, and they don't need to connect only, you know, like to their personal lives, but they also need this connection in terms of businesses. They like to hire a business, sometimes not even for the product they have. They might even have seen a better product, even a better price, but they like what's behind that business. They like how they do things. They like their stories. They like just, you know, working with that person. And the only way to communicate that is going deep into, you know, what your business is and communicating it effectively. So, you know, I think for us, one of the fears that people have is like, what if my website is not going to work? What if this, you know, like, what if I invest this money and it's just not going to work? But we have this quote, it's only beautiful if it works. And, you know, it's not about like just, oh, this looks nice. Oh, nice colors. Oh, nice this, you know. It's not about that. It's about what communicates with your audience, what tells your story, what communicates your USP, and what is going to bring you those results. So it's only beautiful if it works. Don't be scared. It's going to work. You need to invest, like, you know, into the tools, but you need to invest that time to understand well who you are and be able to communicate that through different tools. And web design, I mean, a website and a landing page, amazing sales tool that maybe at 3 a.m. someone is checking your website and making that decision to hire you.
You made me think of many things, but folks, especially on LinkedIn and social media, lurkers are everywhere. And here's the God's honest truth. You are dead on, Allie. Everybody's been screwed by someone, so no one trusts anyone. That's pretty much the mantra that I've learned over 4 years working with multiple people. And so when you put a post and go, no one's looking at it. Oh, they're looking at it. They're looking, you know why they're not clicking like and commenting for most of the time? Because they're afraid, just like the other people, when you do that, guess what? They're going to get a stupid DM. You're going to chase them around. They're going to get on mailing lists that they don't want to be on. And yeah, bald people are going to be sold haircuts. So when they see you being consistent, they're watching you for week after week, and they're like, wow, this person's the real deal, right? That really goes to what all you ladies are saying, right? And especially then when they go check out your website, it's congruent, right? Everything matches, and that's what people are looking for, right, Coleen? They want to know, are you the same dude or lady at the gas station, grocery store, church, $1 million deals? Do you conduct yourself like you know the game? You've been in this. You're the thunder queen of the game, right? Tell us.
Well, and I built my businesses in small towns, and so people really know you, and so that they know your story, they know your history, they know everything about you here, and so online, I think that we need to be open to those relationships. We need to nurture them once we have them. One of our other power partners is Donna Sylvester, and she is our gratitude partner, and she does cards and gifts and builds connections that way. And the reason that I mention her is because while we're talking about building relationships, the thing is that we can talk like this. And even with Donna, she's the perfect example. I had multiple people come to me wanting me to buy these cards that you can send out to your clients, 3 or 4. And guess what? On my birthday, I got a dadgum card and brownies in the mail from Donna because she quit talking and did the walk, right? She built the relationship because she wanted the client. And that set her apart. And that's what I see with all my power partners, you know? Yeah. And it is, like she said, we need to connect. We've got to connect. We have to be authentic. We have to be real. And you know what? We aren't going to be everybody's cup of tea. But I'm probably going to be someone's shot of whiskey. That's okay. Yeah. And if I'm not your cup of tea, I actually don't want to waste my time talking to you either. I want you to keep scrolling. And maybe when you elevate your game or things change a little bit for you, it'll be a second thought to come back and talk to me. And that's okay too. But there are billions of people in the world. You're going to find your audience, but you want to relax. I was talking to Nathan about this earlier this week. You have to be you. You have to relax. Dude, come in your ball cap, in your sweatshirt, whatever it is, so that people can connect with you who you are. And they build trust that way and build the relationships being authentic, how you are.
You hit the nail on the head. If it's the same Nathan, I came to his his monthly session I was blown away. And the funny thing is that I've seen, you know, some of the company materials before, but I didn't recognize it because he presented it in such a great way that was so fresh and new. I was like, oh my goodness, right? And I've had that happen to me. People are like, oh, you're with this company? I'm like, yeah. So people are, like you all ladies all said, people are buying you just as much, if not more, than the service you provide. Like, you know, it doesn't feel like work to work with Coleen. It's natural. Like, I love working with Nicole. It feels like fun because it is, right? But we're getting things done, and that attracts people because you won't see me run around, hurry up, limited time offer, blah, 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 with no value behind it. And Baz Porter, he is a brilliant man. He has helped me and the Hounds really accelerate. He made a statement the other day that blew me away. He says, there's no such thing as spam if it's valuable. Yeah. So, again, stop blaming yourself. You're probably accidentally, because you don't know any better yet, sending a whole bunch of vegan steak offers. You don't stink. You just need to figure it out. And that's why we're having this summit. I mean, that's why we do what we do. So bring a friend, bring somebody, have fun, engage. You know, we're professional. We're getting down. We're making money. But who said it had to be stuffy, right? Put your hoodie on. I don't care what Nathan wears. He wear a daggum clown suit. The man's valuable and he's high level. I don't care. Right. So anyway, Lynn, you've been way too quiet. I need to change that. So Baz had a question up here. Oh, look, Yolanda popped in. You said whiskey. And so now when I miss Yolanda, because she usually comes to every show, I just say whiskey now and she'll pop in with it. All right. So let's take it home. I don't want to keep people forever, but we still got a crowd. So if anybody needs to pop off, I understand. But if you want to stick around a little bit, you know, let's do it.
You know, the thing is, Mike, I was just thinking, have you been to a restaurant and people come in and, like, say it's an upscale restaurant, okay? And people come in and they're all dressed to the nines, right? And you're like, And there you are sitting in your blue jeans, right?
All the time.
I know, right?
All the time.
But people that don't frequent that restaurant go dress up to go to that restaurant, right? And those are the people I don't want to be friends with and I don't want to hang out with. I want to be friends with the people who are authentically themselves all the time. You know, and that's one of the things that really drew me to you. The camo hat, I'm just going to say it. It was, right?
Yeah, and then you realize it wasn't a costume. Yeah, it was Larry the Cable Guy in reverse. The costume was we wearing a suit trying to talk properly for 40 years. That was the costume. What I did, and I want folks to know when you go out there, and I want you all to chime in on this question, whatever, last 10 minutes. It's courage before confidence. What I don't talk about because it's not really necessary. When I first dared to be myself and do this, you know, my mentor, he called it. He said, hey, be you, let yourself out, you know? And then people don't know this. I went on a live stream and got my butt kicked. I got my butt kicked. It was not pretty. People say, oh, look at Mike. He put his hat on and it was great. No, I got destroyed. Wasn't no fault to myself. I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing. Never been on a live stream like this. And it was terrifying. But you know what? I did it again. And I did it with support. Right. And that's where people fail. That's the problem. Lynn, you know that. Right. But don't let other people steal your goals and dreams, man. Now, today, like if I would have gave a speech and everybody booed, I'd have cried. Tawana, seriously, I would have been upset. You know, now, oh man, I'll be like, 2F, I must be in the wrong room. Hell, you know, I ain't even worried about it. Yeah, you can all boo because I know my message is there for the people like me. And I know I've seen it. So anybody want to chime in on this question, that thought, kind of tap it up because I want people out there to stop feeling like they're not good enough and they're waiting for their lucky break and all this stuff. You got to put yourself out there, be willing to look like a donkey until you get it right. And when you plug into to winners, summits, and you reach out to these folks, you can accelerate and compress those time frames. It doesn't have to be awful. It doesn't have to be a chore.
All right, I'm going to take this one, Mike, and I'm going to be quick with it. I'm going to say this. What's one thing no one sees about your success that cost you the most energy? When I started my Monday morning coffee chats, I had nobody there, literally. And I had a co-host that told me that I brought her no value because nobody was there. And I went back and looked at her replay, and it's had over 100 replays from people going and selecting it, which is big for my small audience. And so I was super impressed with that. But one of the things now, so I fixed that part of it, but thank you to Lynn for her help and helping me promote it. But now I'm realizing that inside there, I didn't structure it correctly. And there's probably every other week, it's very stressful to me. and Ken probably wants to divorce me, but she still keeps being my VA. but I'm learning. And so going into 2026, I'm doing something different. And I'm not going to tell you what that stressor is, but there's something I've done in there that can't be repaired this year. I can only repair it next year.
Yeah, and real quick, because I want Lynn's got to chime in.
Mike, I want to add one thing
She's
to
gonna
that.
die. Go ahead.
I think the thing that I really earned a reputation for the years that I was in Illinois, when I started doing some events, I did those events for a reason. I did them because I was repaying God for the favor of sparing my husband and my daughter from some serious stuff they had gone through. But I think that my biggest thing that I spend an enormous amount of time on, I don't ever get paid for it, and it's just fine because I got my payment, was connecting people. That's the most important thing to me, because if I meet any of you and I know there's somebody that I can put you in touch with that will help you to grow your business, that's the most important thing to me. If I never had to work with Legal Shield and ID Shield again, I love it, but I'd be okay if I could just continue to connect people. There is so much reward in that, seeing people's businesses grow. And I often challenge them. I say, mark down today on the calendar, mark down 1 year from the date that I start working with you, and you tell me if your life isn't much better. And over and over and over again, it is. And it's not any magical thing. It's just something God sends these people to me like blessings, and I get to plug them all into each other. And that is so rewarding to me. So it has nothing to do with my business, but I do spend more time on that than I do on my own business because it's so good.
All right, I got a crystal ball. Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong. You're doing business, you get a couple clients, and all of a sudden, seemingly out of nowhere, 5 more come in the pipeline that month. I wouldn't be surprised if that's your story, because
I know where they're coming from. Yes, because if I do enough stuff for other people and they grow their business, I'm always top of mind, and they return the favors so many times over. But I always want to make sure that I show gratitude towards them for everything that they do for me.
Yeah. And that's a common thread. I mean, I'm getting texts from Coleen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, wow. But it's legit. It's not a marketing ploy. That's people can smell it. You know, they can smell inauthenticity and incongruency. So be yourself. Even if somebody doesn't like it, remember, folks, there's 8 billion with a B, billion people out there. Don't worry about it. Okay. Move on. Birds of a feather flock together. Maybe that's not your flock. Goofy people of a feather also flock together, right? So just keep on going until you find your tribe. That's it. So,
you know what, Mike? I'd like to say something real quick. We're pretty new to networking, and mostly, me, because Kirill is the behind the scenes. He's the creative execution in our team, and I'm more of the operational, the ops, and the project management side of our business. But it's a rather new thing for us, but for us it's been magical. I mean, it's been not that long. We used to run our business in a different type of format, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. It does feel like the type of work you really enjoy, like listening to other stories, getting the value from, what other people are doing is so valuable, and being able to share that. And I think it's all about, like, we all are here for the same or similar reasons. We're all about growth and business growth, and something that is aligned with our lives and what we dream. So everyone does it in a different way, but we are all in some way a team of pursuing those dreams. And I know that imposter syndrome can be harsh, and like sometimes we don't have that confidence, and we need to have the courage to just take that step. But networking in the right communities and being surrounded by the right people and having the right trusted partners is when you are being seen and valued. And that is the biggest push to really do what you have to do. For me, it's been amazing, and I think we're enjoying it amazing. When he's designing.
Did you see that? Like, he was going to say no. Come on now. But you are right. Even if you were wrong, though. Yeah, we need to chat, man. Yeah, I need to learn from you. All right. So, folks, this has been phenomenal. So many people. Look, even Kelly came. Good to see you, my friend. So many people. We barely kept up with the comments. So one more time. Hey, go. So you can go to, let me put it up here one more time for the folks. You can go to simplified-, CEO-Systems-Summit. Or you can just go to LinkedIn, Coleen Stubbs, 1L, all right, Stubbs. Or you can go to me, right? If you, hey, what is all that? I'll send it out to you. I'll be reposting it all over the place, LinkedIn, YouTube, carrier pigeons. I still do those, weather pending. But I think it's already sold. You know who these people are, their heart, they're doing it, and they want to reach back and pull you up with them. That's what the point of this is, folks. So don't be shy, no stranger danger. And last thing, shameless plug, but hey, I'm going to go for it. Don't do this alone, folks. One more time. Like Santa Claus, I am coming out with another guy. Finally found another person in this country as us, Coleen. And also not a costume. And we're going to help people. We're not saying we're the best. We're saying, listen, you might be in a new game or you're pivoting in that game. We want to help you get clear direction, know the rules, how it's played, and a chance to join whatever Rockstar All-Star team will help you get there, folks. And then when that happens, you test us. Like, hopefully you try on clothes before you buy them. Hopefully you date before you get married. Same concept. Then you can see if we're for you or not. I want to help people level the playing field. That's it. If I had the opportunity, I fell through the cracks. I'm still in those cracks best I can. All right. And I'm not alone. All right. So we want to see you elevated, pushed up, because I'm serious. The next time I see underserved community kids without coats, dadgummit, I want to buy them all a dadgum coat, and no one's going to know I did it. Who's with me? That's why we are here. Right? Time, money, and freedom. We can make a serious dent in stuff that matters. So thank you, Phil. Thank you, Coleen. And thank you, amazing folks. I definitely cannot wait to chat with each one of you. Don't leave backstage if you can stay. I know Tawana's got to run. But go to the summit, connect with these folks, and check out their profiles and their content. You will not be sorry. So appreciate everyone here. Anybody got any real quick last little thing? Or are we good now?
I think we're good.
Yeah,
I know, you know what? The thing about networking is like you go in and it's like a party every time. I walk in a room, I'm like, oh, look, all my friends are here.
Right.
It's just the best time. And then we get to hear how somebody else helped our friend. And then we're like, oh, wait, I might need that. And it's literally just a big gathering of friends. And I love that.
It really is. It's a dream come true. Go ahead, Lynn.
Mike, remember that successful people will always do all the things that unsuccessful people will not do.
Yeah.
Hello, 4:30 a.m.
Yeah, we should end on that one. That was like fortune cookie right there. I like that. Yeah, you ought to crochet that for me on the pillow. All right. But no, you ladies and Kirill, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you all so much. Hey, next week we're going to have the CEO, co-founder of Yarda One, along with the Millionaire Academy. These folks got told no, lost millions of dollars, and kept doing it anyway. And then, last thing, folks, this is why I want you to plug into this summit. People ask me all the time, how did you get this big opportunity, that big opportunity? You want to know the God's honest truth? This is how you can do it too, folks. I was there believing in them when no one else believed in them. Sometimes I was there believing in them before they believed in themselves. So be the Gail to an Oprah before they're famous in Oprah. I mean, seriously. And when you come to this October 9th with me and Phil and the 15th, we're going to show you no infomercial. I want you all to go out there and test me. All right, get out there and make a daggum impact right now. Because if I can do it, I know it sounds cliche, folks, but look who you're talking to. If I can do it, dadgummit, I love to hear your excuse. All right, better just plug in and do it. All right, wave everybody. We're out. Have a good day. See y'all backstage. Folks, same time next week. Be good. Look at me. I told y'all I had somebody take care of this for me. See, if I could do it, dadgummit, you could do it. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.